YouTube, what's good with y'all? It's Real coming through another video for y'all. So look, when it comes to achieving your dreams, when it comes to getting the best physique in the gym, when it comes to getting an abundant amount of money, when it comes to being the CEO of your own business, when it comes to all these things, you have to get out of survival mode. In order to get that level of success that you crave, that you desire, you have to get out of survival mode. You have to stop worrying about the little things on the process, on the journey, on the way to success. You always have to have the end goal in mind. You have to have the bigger picture in mind when you're going through the process, when you're going through the steps of reaching success. You can't be in survival mode. And what do I mean by survival mode? You can't be worrying about the small things and that be your main focus. Your main focus has to be your end goal. So you can't focus on the small tasks, the small trials and tribulations on the way to success. When you're trying to run your business, you're going to come across several different problems on that journey. But you can't have that as your main priority. You can't focus on the problems at hand. You have to understand, you have to endure, you have to put your mind somewhere else. You have to have the mindset, you have to have the perspective of, oh, what am I going to do now so I can set myself up for the future? But if you're constantly worrying about the battles, the challenges that you're facing right now, you can't ever have the time to think about ways to improve for the long run because you're too focused on the challenges at hand. Yes, get through the challenges. Yes, endure them. Yes, do what you got to do. But you got to keep your focus on the things that really matter. The long-term things, the things that will bring success for your future self for the rest of your life. If you really want to make you really want to make it, you really want to succeed, you really want to do the things that will take you to that next level, you got to be future oriented. You got to be focused on the things that will help you in the long run. You can't always be focused on getting by. You can't always be focused on doing what you got to do now and that's it. You got to focus on doing what you got to do now for later as well. Not just for now. You got to be focused on setting yourself up to get results for the entire picture. You got to think decades ahead. If you're always focused on the now, you're always focused on what it is that you got to do, you know what I'm saying, to get to next week, you're only going to get as far as next week. So you have to think of decades. Think of where you're going to be at a year or two from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now. If you're thinking that far ahead, you're setting yourself up right now to take the actions to get there 5 years, 10 years from now. But if you're never thinking that far, you're going to always get to next week and that's it. And then you're going to go to the next week and think about next week. But you have to be future oriented. You have to do things that will set yourself up for the future. So if you really want to achieve, you know what I'm saying, the success that you crave, you have to think of long term. What am I doing right now that could benefit me in long term wise? Really, do those things. Think of those things. That's how you have to perceive the world if you want to reach the level of success that you want. If you want to get to that level, think of what you got to do right now. Think of different, you have to change your way of thinking. Your mindset got to be in long term. You got to see the entire picture. Your mind got to be on top of the mountain before you even climbed it. That's just what it got to be. Your mind got to be in the clouds before you're even in the clouds. You have to envision what your life is going to be like. You have to envision what it is that you got to do to get there. But if you want to get to the clouds, but your mind is on the ground, how can you rise? How can you elevate? You can't. Because you don't even know what it's like to be up there. You don't even know, you don't envision yourself at the max potential that you could be at. You haven't thought about the problems that you would have up there. You haven't thought about a way of living that you could have later on 10 years from now. Because you're too focused on the problems of today. Don't focus on the problems of today. You know what I'm saying? That's just going to get you as far as tomorrow. You want to focus on the things that will take you years from now, that will take you to the clouds, take you to the top of the mountain. You want to focus on the things that will bring real results that will that changes lives. If you want to be impactful, you want to be influential, you want to live this great life, you want to be successful, you want to be on the top of your business, the CEO. You know what I'm saying? You want to have the best physique. You want to be the wealthiest person. If you want to do all these things, you gotta think that way. You know what I'm saying? When right now you going through challenges, you going through the process of getting there, your mind gotta still be thinking like, okay, when I get there, what am I gonna be doing? How am I setting myself up for later by the actions that I'm doing right now? But if you're not thinking that way, you just gonna get there, or you might not even get there. You know what I'm saying? But let's say you got there, you wouldn't even know what to do. You'll lose it just like that because you didn't set yourself up. You know what I'm saying? So stop focusing on today's problems. Get out of survival mode. If you're always in survival mode, you'll never be able to create. And you're made in God's image. You're made to create. So if you want to create this life for yourself, this person that you want to be, if you want to create, get out of survival mode. You know what I'm saying? Stop thinking about how you going to pay these bills. Stop thinking about what can I do today, you know what I'm saying, to feed myself for today. Think about how you're going to feed yourself in 5 to 10 years. Think about how are you going to, you know what I'm saying, how are you going to supply your life's needs a decade from now? What things are you going to be doing? How do you want to live a decade from now? And start working towards that today. Don't think about tomorrow. Think about 5 years from now, 10 years from now, and work towards getting there. That's called intention. Moving with intention and purpose. If y'all like this video, make sure y'all like, make sure y'all comment, make sure y'all subscribe, and I'm going to see y'all tomorrow.